Hello and welcome to Colonial Stadium right here outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're here today bringing you the Philadelphia Spinners versus the DC Current in the last game of the Major League Ultimate season. I'm Nick Darling. I'm here today with Jeff Snyder. How are you doing today, Jeff?
I'm doing well, Nick. I guess we get to do this again. I'm excited.
I don't know why anyone would let that happen, but yeah, here we are.
Well, you know why they let it happen? Because we're in a press box that's 95 degrees. So I guess we're the guys that got voted in for that.
We're the ones foolish enough to do it, I guess. So, last game of the season here. We're looking at two teams that really have nothing to gain from this game, nothing to lose in this game. This is the DC team has one more game after this. They're going to be playing New York to go into the playoffs. This Philadelphia's last game. They have no playoff hopes left. So, what are we looking at here in today's game?
Well, see, I don't know that I would agree with that there's a game that means nothing, because every game in the season means something. Now, I think the correct way to say is this game doesn't have any implications on the playoffs, but for Philly, they have a losing streak and a long one. And I think that ending the season on a win is a big deal, and that I think there's a lot of players that want to prove that they are something special to Coach Maroon. And for DC, if they come out here and get banged up and hurt and any of that other stuff, then they're in trouble, right? So they have to be smart in this game so they can go get a playoff spot tomorrow.
Yeah, and I mean we both know that regardless of the situation, playoff-wise or whatever happens, there's no way that either of these teams wants to lose to the other one. They have too much history. Goes back too long. No one's going to be laying down for this game.
There's no love lost, but there certainly is a lot of respect of what each other can do. So we're definitely going to see. I mean, I'm definitely excited. I know that DC, talking with Coach Smolinski, said that they're going to rest some people, but he said, and Coach Moldenhauer said the same thing. He said, we're not going to take it off. We're not taking any plays off. We're just resting some people. And, talking to Coach Maroon, he could care less about what's on the line. He just wants to win.
So let's do this a little formally. What are these? What are we looking for the DC team to do while we're out here today? What do we think we're going to expect from them? What are they trying to accomplish going into tomorrow's big game?
Yeah, I mean, I really think all said and done, I think all they care about is playing a clean game and getting out of here injury-free. So, and playing good defense. I think that's what they know they're going to win with tomorrow. So I think you're going to see them throw around the disc, have no regrets, and just run hard on D.
And then Philadelphia, obviously, you want to end the season with a win. You've been on that long slide. What do they need to do to win this game? Obviously, DC going to be hanging back, playing defense, playing a little more conservatively than usual. What do they need to do to win this game? And what does a win do for them going into the offseason?
Well, I think they need to let it fly. I think they have a short game that they've worked a lot, but these defenses are so good that they're making it almost low percentage to be to have the short game. So I think they got to let it fly. I think they got to find deep shots, be confident, put it out there, and if they don't get the deep shot, go play some defense. So it'd be nice to see them be confident and just work down the field and do something.
Excellent. Well, it looks like we're about ready to get going here. Philadelphia is going to be pulling the disc. We have a beautiful day out here, a little on the warm side. I think we can agree.
Just in this press box where it's 94 degrees.
Yeah, a little breezy though out on the field. We got a little wind coming from our left and your left if you're watching the stream to the right. And that should have some effect, I think, on teams moving in that direction. But again, not enough to be a big factor. And it looks like Philadelphia getting ready to pull here to start us off.
Sean Murray out there, one of their stars.
Big pull from Murray. Ryan Todd's going to field that and get us started here. DC is going to come out, and as you said, you're expecting them to play a little more conservatively. Moving the disc back and forth here. Ooh. Bobby Gordon makes a nice catch there, a little close.
Maybe they took a little bit too much off that throw.
Schaffner with the disc now. Up the line to Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer looking downfield. Gets it up there to Bobby Gordon. Gordon into the middle for Wodach. Wodach, a big player for this DC team all season.
Yeah, see, that break was too easy, right? Break is when you're throwing through that mark. It was just too easy.
Ryan Todd with the disc now, looking upfield. Makes a nice throw upfield to Bobby Gordon. Gordon pinned on the sideline. Looks like he's cheating that mark around to the back a little bit, forcing him upfield. That means the defense has to play tough on that line, and oh!
Did he get the D there, or did he...
I think that flick just got away from him a little bit. Put a little too much on it, going into that corner. a little hard to control that throw, that low flick, if you're trying to put a nice soft touch on it.
Definitely hard to do. There's a few throwers who can throw a flick high and have it actually work out.
So Philadelphia with the disc now, moving it up. Murray has it in the middle.
This is that Justin Carter kid you like. He's throwing it to him.
Murray puts it for Carter. Carter going to run it down. Is he going to get there? Here's a big layout. Oh my goodness. Carter runs that down beautifully, but then just can't hang on to it in the end.
The young stallion just didn't have the hands right there, right?
Did not have the had hooves, in fact. Swung across to Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer gets it out to Todd. DC back on the offensive. A little bit of back and forth here early, all the way down to the end zone for both teams.
It honestly looks like they're playing each other's offense here, right? DC looking to be conservative, and Philly went out there and jacked it.
Goes back to Wodach in the middle. Wodach, nice around throw to Todd. That was a nice break.
Oh, that's a nice throw.
There's a nice throw up the line. Oh, just about perfect there from Ryan Todd. Throws it up the line for the goal to number 3, David Cranston.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have Ryan Todd's stats in front of me, but I don't think it'd surprise anybody to see him go 100% completions for a game.
Oh, not at all. He is he's a veteran player, knows exactly what his capabilities are, knows what he needs to do. Really takes care of the disc. Good cutter.
He's one of those quiet leaders, right? He doesn't say much, but he just does what needs to be done at the time it needs to be done. So easy to respect him.
Lead by example, right? So DC with a quick point, up 1-0. 7:52 left here in the first quarter. We have a nice day out here in Plymouth Meeting, which is right outside of Philadelphia.
It is a beautiful
and it looks like we've had a little infraction by the DC team. Oh no, they just telling him to get started. I thought for a second he was moving him back. There's the pull here, net. Up to Bear.
Ooh.
Bear throws a tough throw out to Shull, but he gets to it. Shull back to the middle.
They're double teaming Trey out there, so somebody should have been open. I guess that was Glazer got open.
Hiernett gets the disc back. When Hiernett's out there, everything seems to flow through him to some extent. Just very difficult. Oh, cannot come up with that one. Bear throws a little around. Hiernett can't get it. DC gets the disc back.
Ooh,
and rushed it a little bit down to the flat there. That was just a hurried throw.
I agree with 100% of throwing it, but it's just you have to put it out there. You got to give the receiver a chance.
It looked like when he went to make that throw, one of the other players running by him from the back, not even really involved in the play, put a little hitch in his motion.
I didn't see it, so that might explain it.
Hiernett with the disc now in the corner. Got to get it out of that corner. Moves it up to Glazer.
Yeah, they got to get it across the field here. They can't get stuck right here, which is still what they're doing. Even though they got it up and got it off, they got to get it around now.
Hiernett getting it out by putting it up.
Well, it's a big matchup. I guess we'll see.
Oh my goodness, Art Shull over the top.
Fans like that one.
That's what he does so well. To Bear, looking to reward Shull. Pulls it back in though.
There you go. They're getting across the field and they'll score because of that.
And a nicely played game. And you see there, Art Shull goes up over Delrico Johnson, and then Delrico Johnson, much closer to that D than I expected him to get, coming back across the middle there. He really wanted that one back.
Yeah, I mean, it's the lesson in ultimate frisbee, right? You got to get the disc across the field, and you see that with the spinners. They're jamming it in. Look at the field; it's 50 yards wide, and they're using 5 yards of that width. And if you're doing that, you're going to get D'd up. So it was nice. They finally got the cross pass, and then they score somewhat easily. Even though Delrico's on his tail, it still was an easy score.
Yeah, I mean, it took a risky throw to get him there, though, didn't it? Coming up from here and out of the back to Shull, little floaty pass. I mean, know your receiver, I guess. He's the kind of guy you can put those up to.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the keys of the game. It's what I would want to see, right? Like, if you come off the field and Hiernet's upset about that, then you're promoting being nervous with the disc. And I think at this stage in the season, last game, just go out there and get some confidence with each other. Throw it up and see who comes down with it. Why not?
Play it a little loose is what you're saying.
Just let it fly, right?
So Philadelphia ties the game up 1-1. We have 6:32 left in the first quarter.
And this is Matt Gowan, right?
My
God, look at that.
That is unbelievable. I would have. I don't know about you, but I would have liked to seen the defense get down a little quicker on that and reward that pull. But
yeah, I mean, they certainly had time to get down. See if they can get something out of this anyway.
All right, DC moving the disc now. Cranston
They're double teaming him.
Cranston gets it away. Moldenhauer with the disc now. Moldenhauer. Man,
He's
finds
wide
Wodash
open. Look at
wide
him.
open. Oh my goodness, that was quite a block there.
I don't know if you could see that, but Ryan Todd was open by 30 yards downfield.
Yeah, I saw Gowan trying to chase him down, and what do you know? Nick Matheson comes in with a big block right out in the open field. Moldenhauer liked that one back.
Oh boy.
A little upline throw.
Oh. That was two open people he didn't hit, so let's see if they can get it off the sideline now.
Chow gets it up. Oh, what a defensive play there from Ong. Oh, my goodness. Calvin Ong. He's long, Calvin Ong, isn't he?
He is.
Once he stretches out there horizontal, he can cover a lot of ground.
That was disappointing. You know, Leon had one guy open, then he had another, and then, you know, Chow couldn't find Casey there, so that's a shame. Ooh.
Oh, here's a big put. Looking for David Cranston. He's got him deep. He's got him open. What a throw. Beautiful throw there.
So, you know, in the championship game that's coming up July 13th, they're doing a big clinic beforehand. Is there anybody kids should want to learn from more than Markham Schaffner?
I tell you what, man. He definitely knows what to do with the disc when he gets it.
I mean, he fired that, and it looked like it was going to be way too far ahead of him, but then it just comes out quick and then slows down and waits for him. I mean, he's a top thrower.
Very nice goal there by DC. Looking at 2-1 now with 5 minutes in this first quarter. What do you think about the pace that we're seeing so far, Jeff? Is this kind of what we expected, and you know, a little more open, I think, than I expected from DC?
No, I mean, I expect them to do it. I think it's where they're going to be. They like to throw a teeth. They like to have confidence. They like to make big plays, and you know, I think that. Remember that we said they're resting some people, so I think the people that are getting to play right now want to make some big plays. So.
They're going to take it. They're going to take their chance when they have it.
They want their Sports Center moment, right? That's a pretty high pull. See if they can get down on this.
High floaty pole. Going to be a little shorter. Philly comes up with it safely. Hironet with it in the middle. Gets it out to Murray. Murray playing on the O-line today, something you don't always see.
Nice
Shaw with a nice
Shaw.
in cut. I like this matchup with Johnson and Shaw. I think it's going to be a good one to watch all day. Oh, what a throw. Can he come up with it?
Wow!
Oh, my goodness. That was a risky throw there from Glazer.
Now,
With
most
Sean
receivers, right, if they turn twice like that, they'll just fall over, you know, spin like a top and fall over. He looks like he's lost for a second, and he catches it no problem. That's impressive. That's why he's Sean Murray.
We've seen him do that all year, haven't we?
He's a highlight reel.
Well, Philadelphia able to answer there very quickly. Back on the board to tie it up 2-2. The fans really starting to come in now. Stadium is beginning to fill up, even with this heat. A lot of people willing to brave it and get out here and see this last game in Plymouth Meeting, Colonial Stadium.
It is impressive. This is a big crowd, and there's still people coming in.
Quite a few people coming in from looking over the gate.
Now we may be just in this press box. We may just have a different idea of what it is outside, but I think it's about 104.
Yeah,
so.
at least 104. It's hot enough that I could just be hallucinating these fans at this point, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, let's see some defense here. We got Leon pulling the disc. Let's see what they can do.
And Leon knows how to pull that disc too. That's a nice big pull from Leon. Going to be fielded by Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer, player coach for DC, veteran player, just knows his way around the field. I don't know what to say, but I mean, he always finds the space he needs to be in, makes the throw he needs to make.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that I like him too much because he'll remind me of it too much. But I admire him just above and beyond. He's a great leader. The guys respect him. His team loves him.
And here he is now with the disc on the sideline. Oh, puts up the quick throw. We're going to have a little bit of a contest here. What a defensive play. He got way up in the air for that one. Number 6, Leon Chow. Great defender. Shows it there.
Now, my wife, after the last time we did commentary together, said that I said, "Are you kidding me?" Too much, but are you kidding me? Look at that take. Come on. That was great. You know, it looked like Gordon, you know, thought about coming in, and then it was thrown, and Leon just really tracked it down.
Leon gets it back
See,
there.
I put it out there. Ooh.
He thought about it for a second. Instead,
Look at
goes
that
all the
throw.
way across the field. Felt a little dangerous, but he seemed to know what he was doing.
Got Dan Ferfari now with the disc. Gets it off.
Rafari gets it off there. Pana with it now, looking downfield. Pana finds Rafari back in the middle to Bear. Bear out to Chow. Chow to a wide open Chris Pana. Oh, a little bit of a defensive marking mistake there, I would say.
Now, you just said his brother, Chris Pana, so I'm going to catch you on that one.
Did I say brother?
Yeah, you
I
did
didn't
brother.
say brother.
That's Mike Pana.
I said a wide open Chris Pana. I beg to differ. Pronunciation problems.
That was a nice job by Mike Pana right there. It looked like, I think the guy poached off and thought maybe he'd get the D, but he just kept running through it. So, way to be wide open.
Michael Pana is been a fixture for this Philadelphia team through this year, on offense in particular. Working that handler triangle they seem to work. Can you explain that a little bit, what we've seen from Philly a lot this year? There's a lot of that three-handler set.
Yeah, so Coach Maroon's a big fan. I would call it old school, except that it's really not. It's still used, but he likes to take 4 people off the pole and move them way downfield and have just 3 people kind of play catch. And when they run out of steam or when it breaks down, then they get in the 4 other receivers kind of come into the mix. But it's just like a 3-person weave. So, and I'll be honest, I don't think it's been that effective for him this season. I think it's actually kind of worn him out a bit, and I think they've moved away from it. So, we'll see if they even. I haven't seen him do it this game. Have you?
No, I haven't either, which is why I kind of brought it up. We've definitely seen a lot of it, and we have commented in the past that it seems to have stagnated them. But DC with the disc back here. Oh,
boy.
Little off throw there, cleaned up easily by Gallen.
Look at that laser.
Oh, wow, great little bit of play there. Redding getting the assist. And that's a quick strike and a quick turnaround from this Philadelphia team. And they go up 4-2 now with 3 minutes left in the first quarter.
Yeah, that was a nice quick shot.
So far in the we've seen a lot of back and forth in this game. A lot of big throws, a lot of big plays, a lot of speed out there. I think that Philadelphia crowd seems to be taking a lot of heart in the fact that their team's gotten up a little bit early, which is something they haven't done recently. Been playing from behind a lot, I would say.
Yeah, I had to go quiet there, Nick, because my laptop started yelling at me, and I didn't want to lose track of all the things we're doing here. But, yeah, no, they did a good job. And
I thought you were being attacked by a bee,
yeah,
actually. That's what was worrying me. There was a lot of activity next to me, no responsiveness.
Yeah, you're afraid of bees, and I'm afraid of power loss. So,
yeah,
it works out.
But we both have our own little nightmares here in this match.
I don't know what that pass, and I don't remember who threw it now. Was it Boyea? It just was, I don't know who he was going for.
Yeah, he just floated away from him there, I think. And, Gallen was there, opportunistically cleaned it up and struck very quickly. So DC back with the disc here. Ryan Todd has it, looking downfield. He's going to move the disc out to the outside. It's Bobby Gordon with it, back across to Todd. Todd finds Moldenhauer on the big swing. They're doing a nice job of that today already, DC, moving it back and forth. Ooh, tough catch there, and, yep, no, he doesn't come up with it.
Get it.
Looks like David Cranston couldn't hold on to that throw from Moldenhauer.
They're definitely not playing their normal offense in terms of personnel. And they don't look like they're playing their normal offense in terms of flow. So,
well, I'm sure the two go hand in hand.
Well, can't argue that.
So Philly with the disc back here. Redding. Oh, nice throw. Not a lot of marking on defense there. They looked like there were 2 men open in the end zone and a third one there just for a little bit something extra. And Philadelphia scores an easy goal.
This crowd is crazy. They are pumped up. This is fun. I just wouldn't get too comfortable. I just know that DC isn't here to lay down. So I think they're probably going to be pretty disappointed with how easy they've turned it over. We got 5-2?
5-2 with 2 minutes left. This
doesn't seem like it, does it? Just seemed like all of a sudden it was because did DC get the break to start off, or they just scored? No.
DC scored to start off.
They scored to start off,
but they received. Yep.
And it just kind of seemed like maybe they were going to be doing their thing, and all of a sudden it's 5-2. Wow, that was quick.
I mean, Philly team, they got their fans out here rooting them on, looking for that last one of the season. You got to feel they're fired up, really ready to make something happen.
It's got to be cooler over there on that side of the field. There's no way they could be this happy. Is it okay if I tell anybody from Plymouth Whitemarsh that's listening to put an air conditioner in this press box? How many more times do I get to complain about this for the?
I mean, I actually support you, and I tend not to support you in much of anything. So. DC with the disc here again. Schaffner looking downfield, and he puts it.
Oh, it's Del Rico versus
Del Rico
Johnson versus Jack Casey. I'm taking Del Rico. He's got the position.
Oh, Del Rico does a nice job and almost gets D'd actually by his own man there. Number 30, Francisco Hezera, comes flying in and almost strips the disc away from him.
I would not want to get hit by Hezera. Look at him. He's not a small person.
He's not a small person. Yeah, I mean, as soon as that disc went up, you saw the position that Del Rico took. You knew he was coming down with it.
It really did look, and then he did a great job of getting Casey on his hip.
It's an underestimated skill. The ability, it's not just jumping ability when you're reading these deep discs, you know, and obviously that helps. It doesn't hurt to be able to get off the ground. But, you know, for a lot of players, the thing that they do really well is use their body, use the position, get to the point that they want to catch the disc before their defender can get there. And then there's not much the defender can do.
Yeah, I mean, back in my coaching days, we used to run the deep drills, and we used to say that person on offense can't jump. And who do you think was the best at that?
Trey Katzenbach, without a question.
It's a Trey thing, right? So if you could learn to catch like Trey, you could be devastating.
Spinners have the disc back here. Meta, puts it right in the turf.
I feel like you could almost see that one coming. It looked like his arms and legs are moving too fast for his brain.
He just did not look comfortable there with it. So DC back with the disc now. Neely gets it outside to Minor.
Wow.
Minor up to Nathan Slade. Definitely seen some new faces out here from DC right now. Neely swings it back across. Minor gets it back. Looking downfield. Salmi with the disc. Oh, finds a cutter on the near side. That's number 91, David Boye.
Nice
Am
job.
I saying that name right? I often feel like I'm not. Boya or Boye?
I think it's Boyea. So
Boyea.
Oh,
my goodness. There was a nice flow across the field there to get that goal. Boyea taking his cut all the way from the opposite side of the field, all the way across.
Yeah, that was nice. They used, they went 50 yards across to score that and made it look pretty easy. And they were fired up, too. So, anybody who thought DC was taking it off emotionally, certainly not. They're fired up. And it's worth talking about, too, that DC leaves here hot. So I'm always big on heat, right? Because we saw the players out here hours ahead of time in the sun warming up, and we know how just draining it can be, right? So, but they get to drive home, rest up. New York is up in Boston right now, so they got to drive all the way down to DC. So that's a big trip. So
do we know how New York is making that trip? Are they playing their game tonight and then coming right back down, or are they staying over up there in Boston?
So I'm pretty sure that they go up and play Boston, go down to New York to get in hotels, and then come down tomorrow. Wow, look at this big throw.
Big throw
He's
there.
wide
He's
open.
got Sean Murray wide open. He's going to look up. Takes a second, wisely. And there it is. Nice little reset there to Trigu. Across the field to Show for the goal. Nice work there by Murray to take a second, realize that he had some help, reset the disc, and get that goal.
They should put his face on the side of a bus. Yeah. So going back though, the Rumbles are playing. I think they might be playing now. I don't actually remember the game time. Then they get hotels in New York, and then they come home to DC, or not home to DC. Then they take the trip to DC. So it's brutal. It's brutal. So I think you can lose the game. You can lose tomorrow's game right now, right? If the DC Current aren't smart, get too drained, come out tomorrow flat because of that, then they could lose the game because of that. And if the Rumble don't take care of their bodies, being in a bus, think about how long they're going to be in a bus. Up to Boston, back to New York, down to DC. Yikes.
It's a lot to overcome. I mean, every sport has it, but travel is a challenging thing. These doubleheader weekends are tough on both teams, and it's a matter of seeing who's smart about taking care of themselves, and who can bring it the next day.
Now, Dusty Rhodes, the GM, passed on this article that he found about some of the worst travel stories in sports history. It's amazing. It's the thing that really fans are hidden from. They don't hear about, that you can play 4 games in 4 days all across the nation. So I mean, this is what the pros is about, right? You have to perform even when you're traveling for hours.
So true. So Ong here with the disc to get DC started again. Gets it out there to Cranston. Cranston.
Ooh,
Looking for Todd, but does not put that throw in the right place.
That's the first foul of the game.
Little foul there by Cranston, and you're right. That's the first whistle we've heard this game. Pretty impressive.
Scott, he's wide open. Smart move by Todd.
Leon Chow with the disc. Moves it across to Pana. Pana to Bear.
Look at that break.
And Bear all the way across. That was just a nice movement of the disc. Bear gets it all the way across there to Nick Matheson for the point. And yeah, break, goal.
Break, goal, right? And you know that it's a big thing. So you know, break is a term we use when we're throwing it through the mark, right? Relates a lot to basketball in that sense. No break that goes up the field that straight should be easy. You know, if someone's breaking it for a swing, that's hard to stop. But that type of break, you got to put a foot out there and you got to block it because that was just way too easy.
So Philadelphia now up 7-4 with just 24 seconds left here in this first quarter. So DC with 24 seconds to bring this thing back to within 2 points. Always an exciting part of the game. I love these ends of quarters.
Yeah, I mean, DC's got to play it smart. We know this, right? And actually, I'm going to take that back. Philly's got to play it smart. You come down and try and play some special defense, they're just going to go down and score in 15 seconds. So go down, play real defense, get a turn the way you're supposed to, and you know, then you're good. But if they try and do something special, we'll probably see DC march down, and you know, Philly will be catching or getting the pull with 5 seconds left.
Well, here's a nice pull by Murray into that little breeze that we have here. Gets down pretty far into the DC end, and they're moving the disc. Moldenhauer gets it out now to Schaffner. Schaffner, always dangerous with that. Across to Moldenhauer. Oh, gets it up the field. Almost gets a D there.
We got 10 seconds left.
Schaffner looks over his shoulder, see how much time's on the clock. Moves it across to
5
Moldenhauer.
seconds.
Moldenhauer back to Schaffner. That's whose hands he wanted in.
Look at that
Oh,
blade.
there's a big
He's gonna
blade.
get it.
Oh my goodness!
my
What a
Are
ridiculous
you
throw!
kidding me?
That was a towering blade throw to the back corner of the end zone to score with 0 time left on the clock. Unbelievable.
I'm not really sure what to say. I've already said, "Are you kidding me?" Because I can't stop saying that. But he throws a crazy blade while being double teamed to the back left corner of the end zone, where the receiver catches it wide open. Well, I should say wide open, just catches it uncontested with his feet on the line. So okay. So there's thank you, thank you, Markham Schaffner.
Schaffner. Oh, it looked like a desperation throw. I was like, oh, okay, so he threw a bladey thing up, so there's going to be a bit of a jump ball, Hail Mary situation.
Yeah.
No, it was just to the guy standing in the back
Just the
corner of
guy.
the end zone.
Just the guy he meant to throw it to. I mean, that's the throw I throw when I try and throw it at all. That's like my best throw.
Yeah, that looks like my upwind flick. So 7-5 at the end of the first quarter.
That's a
And,
shame.
you know, an exciting first quarter, I would say. I'm enjoying this game. These teams are playing pretty wide open. I was a little bit worried that DC would lay down a little bit, and it would be kind of a soft game, and it has not been that at all so far.
No, I mean, you got to remember, like, when you put in the bottom of the roster, that's their chance to play. I mean, I don't know how many fans we have here, but it's a lot. You don't want to go out there and get embarrassed in front of a lot of people. You want to go out there and make a name for yourself. So I think for the DC guys, there's a lot of people that want to prove something. And for the Philly guys, again, they've been on a big losing streak, and losing sucks. Winning's a lot more fun, especially in the last game. So you know, you head into this season with a win, you feel like you got something to build on, and you head in with a loss, you got nothing.
I feel like it definitely changes your offseason. It changes the mentality going into the offseason to come out with a win here.
Absolutely.
And they need that. They need that so that they can build to next year. And they're like we've said from the beginning, a lot of talent on this team. Definitely have struggled this season. But I look forward to seeing these guys out on the field in 2014. So getting ready to start here. And for those who were maybe came in a little bit late, we talked a little bit about the New York travel schedule. And that's all because of this big game tomorrow, right? We have DC, New York playing down in DC. Winner goes to the playoffs and plays Boston for the chance to get to the first MLU championship game.
Yes.
That's a big deal right there.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
And of course, that game will be available to everybody on MLU Live at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Just get on mlultimate.com/MLU Live. tune in. We'll also have another game available that day as well, in case you're interested in some West Coast action.
Yeah, I'm not happy about this at all because we scheduled the San Francisco-Seattle game at the same time, which means we can't watch both. So,
Picture in picture, I think. I could figure something out.
Yeah,
Two
I guess you
laptops,
can.
maybe?
Of course, thankful for today's technology, you can watch anything at any time you want. So I even think you can watch the game now if you're
Yeah, that's true. You can
with
just
technology.
get on there and pre-watch it if you'd like. All right, here we go. DC pulling to get us started here in the second quarter. 7-5 the lead for the Philadelphia Spinners.
So this is big. If Philly's going to make a statement, they got to be able to do this, right? Get the disc on offense and go down and score. Ooh.
Oh, got a little hand on it there, but
Wow.
they're able to get back to it. Gets it up to Wish. Youngest player on this field, I think, Jonah Wish.
And he's going out to Pittsburgh with all these other great players. Boy, is that going to be fun. He's going to be a great player for a long time.
Bear looking downfield. Moves it across to Hiranet. Can they keep expecting Hiranet to keep that disc moving across the field, and he seems to be pulling it back.
Uh-oh.
That one gets away out of bounds. It's going to be DC's disc. Coming back, looking for that break coming right out of the quarter, trying to get this game back to within 1 point.
Yep. So here's what I'm talking about, right? Like, here's where you got to play defense. So if DC marches down and scores, you know, it's the offense's fault for not, or the offensive squad fault for not coming out here and getting the disc back.
Salmi with the disc now in the middle for DC. Looks up and he finds Neely.
And see, this D isn't
Neely
going to
out
cut
to
it.
Johnson.
Look, they're wide open.
Back across. DC just sweeping that disc back and forth. Oh, and there's a big throw. Looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication there. Brian Marshall coming in when he was thought to be going out, I believe.
Well, when I first looked, I thought the guy was wide open, but it was Nick Hiranet, so that didn't work out. But nice read by Hiranet to see that it was going up and go deep. And yeah, I guess there was some miscommunication there from Brian Marshall, right?
So Hiranet walking the disc up. Marshall will be on the mark. Nice cut across from Bear there.
They're just really stagnant on offense. No one's really moving right.
Bear to Wish. Wish gonna put it. A little floaty IO jump ball here with Shaw underneath it. Not coming down with that miracle this time.
Now,
DC with the disc back.
Wish at some point was 100% on the season through like week 6, right?
Yeah.
And
He had 0 turnovers through week 6. And speaking of turnover, there's another one from the DC team. Little tough up line throw gets away from him. Murray with the disc now for Philadelphia.
I think kind of counterintuitive. I would say that for someone of the talent of Jonah Wish, I don't want to see him 100%.
Ooh.
Because 100% on throws, because he's got too much talent to be conservative. I'd rather see him putting it out like he just did. Even though it wasn't a good throw, he's got the talent to make those. And
We got a
I think he
little
could be more
foul
of a
there on
factor.
this play, and it looks like we have somebody down in the field. Looks like Nathan Slade limping off right now, taking an injury.
Was that the one who bumped Art in the back?
I think he was the one who ran into Art's back, and Art is not the kind of guy you want to run into. He's a farmer, and he's built like one.
He is a big boy.
And I mean that really. He is actually a farmer. He
We've been to his
runs
farm.
a working farm.
I realize now it's very hard for me to say their last names because I know so many of them so well. But Art Scholl is a farmer. Whole family has a farm, have cows, milk. Did the whole thing with them.
He milks cows and then he does his workouts. This is what I see on Twitter. Anyway.
There's a reason he looks like a Greek god. So, I couldn't do his job for 20 minutes, and he does it for 12 hours.
I actually got really tired just talking about it. Oh, there's
Look at that mistake.
there's a poor mistake there from. Looked like Glazer made that throw up the line.
Yep, and then Smolinski's or Moldenauer is going to call the. They're going to call the timeout, and they're going to put in the O squad. And
So you have theories on these timeouts, when to use them, when not to use them. So right now, you get a turnover. It's been a long point. How do you like that timeout?
right, so to go to the thing about timeouts, I know as a coach that if I start on defense, get a turnover, and call my timeout and score, if I do that 4 times, I win the game, right? Because that's big. Now I've gotten the score starting on defense. If I'm burning them on offense, that's rough for me. because that means that my offense isn't flowing well and I'm not getting a chance to get a break. So I'm pretty sure the spinner started on O here, right? No, it's been so long.
Man, it's been a long point.
I don't even remember.
Yes. The spinner started on O
Yeah,
here.
because they had Trey out there. They start on O. So now DC's got the timeout with a chance to break. It's a great timeout.
Now, of course, you also give the Philadelphia team an opportunity to bring on their D squad.
Yeah, but I do that every day. If I could do it so, if timeouts are unlimited and I could get a D and call a timeout and put in my best offensive squad, I do it every time, because that's what they're made for, right? They're made for scoring. So, your offense is always going to have an advantage because it's your offense.
Of course, not unlimited. Everybody gets 2.5.
Everyone gets 2.5.
And so right now, this is actually the first timeout we've seen used. DC calling the first timeout. Philadelphia with 2 left, DC with 1 left. And here they are coming out of the timeout. Let's see what they can do. Oh, putting it right away.
Ooh, Chip Cobb.
You ought to like to see Chip
He's got
Cobb
bad
going
position,
deep.
though.
Oh, had a couple shots at that and ended up out the back of the end zone. Yeah, he lost position there earlier. Disc coming in right over the top of his head.
Yeah, as for the young players out there, you never want to have the disc right over top of your head because number one, it's hard to run and look straight up, and number two, it means someone is coming over your back because that's the position you want. You always want somebody on your hip and the disc in front of you.
So now Philadelphia here with a pretty spread offense.
Now,
and Zargum, unable to complete that pass, just throws it right into the ground in his own end zone. That's just the break that DC was looking for. A little flippy push pass over the top for the goal.
Yeah, I mean, he just puts kind of a soft push pass there and gets it to Hazara, who's huge and not going to drop anything. And so there you go, right? The timeout worked. Now you got a break off a timeout. And I was actually curious to see if Philly was going to call a timeout there, which to bring on their offense again, but looks like Coach Maroon wanted to give him a chance. And unfortunately, Zargum threw it away. Probably a little contact there, but not enough to get a foul.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things here is that it's not necessarily that contact isn't allowed. There is some contact all the time. The referees have discretion on that sort of contact on the throws, and you have to be able to throw through it. You have to be strong.
Yeah, I mean, we all watch basketball and football and all those sports and hockey. I mean, there's going to be some contact, and there's going to be contact that draws fouls. And unfortunately, for throwers, if you're going to draw a contact foul on a break backhand, you really got to show that you got hit, or you really got to get hacked because they're just not going to give it to you, and it's hard to see. And Zargum knows that, and I'm sure he knows he should have gotten a better pass.
Well, I didn't see any complaints from him there. It looked like he just made a bad throw and knew it. So Gallen with the disc here.
Oh boy.
Flips over a little throw across to Wish. Wish finds Hiranet in the backfield. Able to get it upfield.
Kyle Salasco throws it out there.
You don't see him put the disc like that very often. And oh my goodness. That's Davini trying to get on the end of that.
Are they trying to target Delrico Johnson? It just seems like there's been a lot going up against them, and now they're 1 for 3.
I gotta be honest, I feel like if they are making that choice, that it's a mistake. I think not the coaching decision I would make to throw against Delrico Johnson.
Actually, the more accurate thing, which is probably happening, is he's a great bait defender. So he makes somebody look open, and then they're not open.
Very true. So DC moving the disc now. Cobb with it.
Chip Cobb, a great young man. He's quirky in many ways, but boy, can he run.
Minor with the disc now, looking downfield. Doesn't have much there. Comes across to Ong.
I was talking with Coach Smolinski about Calvin Ong. He really is a special player because he's 6'2", can play defense, can handle, and can cut.
Oh, what a great little throw under there. Trey just unable to stay with David Cranston across the field there. Johnson has it now. Johnson, little dump off to Ong.
Yeah,
Ong sizing up his options. Lays one low. Oh, Cobb just can't quite dig that one out of the turf.
Is that the commissioner's curse when you're talking about how great a player is and then he throws it away? I should just never do that again. But, I mean, let's watch Ong, right? Because I bet you he'll want to get that disc back.
I'm sure he will. Philadelphia with the disc in their own end zone now, looking to work it up. Trigub.
Oh, no.
Oh, and Trigub throws it away. That's the second throwaway we've seen by Philadelphia in their own end zone in the last 2 points.
So if you're going to target a problem for Philadelphia, you're really pretty easily going to say that they just can't hit the dump, right? I mean, they're just with the first turnover was Bear to Hiranet, where he threw it away on the dump. We've seen Zargum just do it, and we saw Trigub do it right there. So they just don't seem to have confidence with that throw.
And DC makes him pay for it. Swings the disc all the way back across the field. They find Rico Johnson in the end zone for his second goal of the game. And then we have a 7-7 game, tied up with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left here in this first half. As you said, you can't count DC out of it.
It was 7-4 at one point, right? So
it's not even that you can't count DC out of it. On some level, you can't count Philly in it. They just seem to be able to give points away in bunches. And it's what we saw happen here.
That's the it's a rough thing to say, but yeah, that's the problem. That's why, unfortunately, they found themselves in last place, is they've given it away too many times. But they certainly have a bunch of heart, and they certainly work out there. So if they can just correct it, their problem isn't effort. They've got some technical problems they got to fix, right? They're making silly mistakes like the dump.
It's very true. And I think, you say that they have some trouble completing the dump. I would say also that they rely so heavily on it. There's a lot of backfield looks for Philly compared to some of the other teams in this league. That was an unbelievable little through pass there. Glazer with it now. Looking, he's got Panna. Panna comes down with it for the point.
Ooh, boy.
That
felt like a D was coming, didn't it?
Little C&I disc moving through the field there.
C&I disc, I like that.
Finds its way through. Gets up to Panna for the goal.
This is a good time to give a plug to Innova Discs, who makes the Pulsar, which all of the MLU plays with, and you can certainly pick one up at the MLU shop at shop.mlultimate.com. And I was talking with Moldnauer. Actually, we were texting back and forth the other night. He was telling me about how much he likes the disc. It just has some cool features to it in terms of throwing it, and it really, if you learn how to throw it, you can throw really far and it can float for a long time. It's pretty interesting.
And I'll take the opportunity too to throw in a plug for my favorite product, which we see a lot of players out there wearing the friction gloves.
Yeah.
These friction gloves, they're great not just for catching. People always think of gloves for catching. Great for throwing, a little extra grip on the disc, and those are available as well at shop.mlultimate.com.
Yeah, in fact, the Pulsar has a grip added to it, which is something that Innova makes, which makes the disc kind of a little sticky on its own. So you combine the gloves with the disc, and you can put a lot of rotation. Wow!
What a block!
Big block on Markham Shaw.
Oh my goodness!
Now, that isn't easy to do.
Bear with a block. That had to hurt. I gotta be honest. Schaffner was winding up for that one. That one stung.
Yeah, that didn't feel good.
Philadelphia with the disc back, looking to regain
Frederick
their
Brass
lead.
comes out with fires.
Got somebody open, fires it right down. Beautiful throw there.
Cranston was on that D, and he's such a big and tall athlete, and I just would love to see him, and I think he will. I think I'd love to see him go up one more level, because he's phenomenal, and it seems like he hasn't quite gotten to the level of baiting the Ds the way he could, because look at him stepping out there. He looks like a giant. He just I feel like he could have gotten that one if he baited it better.
Yeah, Cranston is one of those players I've enjoyed watching play all season. Very athletic, fast, strong. It sort of defines this DC current team, doesn't it? They are a big, strong, athletic team. It's what they rely on, I think, a lot of the time.
Athletes up and down the board. All of them athletes, right? And the ones that aren't physically imposing, like Ryan Todd, are some of the best ones, right? That's the guy who even in the latter part of his career is still pretty much uncoverable.
Here's the pull down to DC. Philadelphia leading 9-7 right now with 2:50 left here in the first half. DC looking to bring it back to 1. Todd with the disc. And he's going to put it. He's got a man deep. It's going to be a jump ball here. Oh my goodness. Bear comes over the top. Almost gets a piece of it. But who came down with it? It was Markham Schaffner making the deep cut. I saw the number. I was going to say the name, and I'm so used to him being on the throwing end of the play.
I really think that he So in Ultimate, right, we have what they call string plays, right? So off the pull, you'll say, okay, we'll go from Katzenbach to Hiranet to Wisher, or in this case, from I think it was Ong to Moldenauer. To Ryan Todd, right? And so you have a string of people you want to complete it to. I would bet $20 there that Schaffner said he wanted it fourth and he wanted to go deep on Bear. So, because he just got the hand block. So nothing better than to get your get it back with a big deep throw. So we're 9-8 right now, right? 9-8.
9-8 with 2:37 left here in the first half. DC pulling to Philadelphia. Philly up by 1. At one point up by as many as, I believe, 4?
It was 5-2.
It was 5-2.
I don't think it was 6-2, though. But it was 7-4. So, he rifles it out there to Trey.
Got
Trey
Katzenbach
coming
deep. Is he going to catch up to it? That's a long run for Trey, and no, he can't quite get there.
That's a shame. That's a shame because that was a good look, but...
Great look, great cut by Katzenbach. Just can't quite chase it down.
Can't chase that throw down. It was a nice throw, too.
So DC gets the disc back here.
Is this Jonathan Neely?
Looking to tie it up.
Burns the timeout.
Timeout called.
Smart move, right? Burns the timeout, and now they get to bring in their offense again, going with their philosophy of get a D. When you're on defense, get the D, and then bring in the squad. So, nice job.
Yeah, hard to argue with. So we're in timeout here. It's 9-8. Philadelphia Spinners with 2:28 left. And, one of the things that I've liked so much about this season is the photography that we've had. We have a great partner, Ulti Photos, who handles all of our photography. They also do ultimate event photography. You have a tournament coming up. You have a high school, college tournament, club tournament coming up, and you want somebody to get out there and give you some great shots that you can keep, that that show the sport in its best form. They're the guys to call, and you can find them at ultiphotos.com, and you can also find all of the Ultiphotos images from the MLU at mluimages.com.
Yeah. I mean, they're amazing photographers, and I'm going to give another shout out to Five Ultimate, who's got the players in all of our jerseys right now, and they just look sharp. And it's when Ultiphotos taking those great pictures with these great athletes in these pretty sharp-looking uniforms, it comes out really nice. And you know who my favorite photographer is Scoble Wiggins out West Coast, because she does that really shallow depth of field, and you get these like amazing highlight shots. It's and there's posters.
And there's posters.
So we get posters from that, so it's fun. All right, well, let's see what they do. They're lined up in the vertical stack right here, and we're waiting for the contest to be. I don't know what some lucky man gets to have all the Fly Girls throw discs at him. So I guess good on him. He gets a big resounding cheer from the fans. Well done, well done.
A contest winner there. Lost a flip-flop, did not break stride. Beautiful work by him.
Right? Something tells me he was focusing on the ladies out there more than the flip-flop.
It's possible, it's possible. So we're back here with DC with the disc coming out of that timeout. As you said, in a vertical stack, sort of the old traditional style of offensive set with one dump behind the disc.
Now Michael Pana going to come out and poach that lane, try to get him to throw it backwards, but too easy break.
Man, another easy break. The challenge, of that mark is to keep the disc on the side of the field that you want. And whenever the other team is able to get the break off, huge problems for your downfield defenders.
And as you can kind of see, like, here's the problem. DC's not having any issues with the dump, it seems. And that's the difference. Philly's having tons of problems.
Just moved all the way across the field. Oh my goodness! Just steps into the zone. Lindsay with a nice D there.
I saw that one coming for so long. I thought there was no way that the thrower wouldn't see Patrick Lindsay setting that up. So that was impressive.
I think just sometimes as a thrower, you get sort of focused in on your cutter to the detriment of seeing the rest of the field.
I think they were just moving too fast, right? It was like, bing, 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 like the plays just kept going. So, I think they probably it was just moving too fast. He needed to take a deep breath.
So Philadelphia calling a timeout here. This is their first timeout. They still have one left this half. 1:51 here left in the half. They were leading 9-8, looking to extend that lead.
Yeah.
With the sun moving into a little bit of cloud cover here, which has given us a little bit of relief,
Right.
I would say,
Right.
from the oppressive heat.
Yeah, I mean we've had to pay someone to just bring us water today, right? So it does feel pretty nice out there. It looks like there's a nice breeze out there too. And if you look at the American flag over there to the left, it's blowing around, so they're doing okay. Like it's a breezy day.
Yeah, and there's no doubt. I mean, the talent of these throwers being able to throw in any kind of wind conditions. Some wind conditions that I can't even fathom. But even a breeze like this can give fits to a novice thrower.
Right, and these guys make it look like it's not windy at all. So here's the Spinners. Timeout on D. Now they get to come in and try and score. This is a big one. They need the break. Puts them up by 2. There's only 1:50 left. I really hope that they don't have the one throw turnover issue they've had off timeouts.
They have had a lot of trouble coming out of timeouts. Manages to complete the first throw to Katzenbach. Katzenbach finds Murray. Murray was looking downfield, didn't see anything he liked. Oof. Rico Johnson, you got to feel like he's going to get one of these times.
Stop throwing against Rico Johnson. I mean,
Scholl, though, comes to the disc well there and gets it.
Oh, he puts it out well.
There's a big throw. Got Scholl. Oh, wow. Great catch. Reaches up and snags it out of the sky.
You have to put your hands up. First of all, you always say you have small hands. You have to put your hands up against Art Scholl's hands. He has got monster hands. I mean, I think when the cows see him, they're intimidated.
I'm just going to give you my milk. I'm just handing this to you now.
I mean, he is. He can literally hold, like, envelops half the disc when he's holding it. So it doesn't surprise me he made that catch.
Very nice catch there. And that puts us at 10-8 with 1:23 left to play here in the first half. DC down by 2, trying to get back by halftime.
Yeah, let's see if the Spinners can get a D here and try and jump up the lead a little bit, or if DC's going to come down and do what they do. I mean, you don't see Keegan out there, you don't see Colic out there, you don't see Brent Bellinger. So quite a few people. I mean, God, you don't see Dulabon, you don't see Cantor. Oof.
Yeah, so I mean, we had reports earlier in the game that Keegan was on an injured hamstring, that Colic also has a hamstring issue. You had to know that they were probably not going to play much in the game. Let them rest, get them healthy and out there for tomorrow's big game to go.
And I saw here that Tom Doy was a game time decision, but I'm really happy they chose not to play him. Right, like someone's banged up. Wait till tomorrow. That game means everything.
Tough little throw there that Wodach comes up with.
Did it slip out of Moldenhauer's hands?
It looked like it, yeah. Along with the disc now, looking downfield.
Oh boy,
Schaffner with a laser up to Moldenhauer, not quite in. Got it right on the goal line. Moldenhauer looking. Turns around, looks to his dump, and then turns back around to find a guy in the end zone. Oh my goodness. Moldenhauer turns, looks at the dump. Doesn't have anything going on. Looks back upfield, makes that throw, floats it a little bit.
It seemed like Wodach was open the entire time, right? Like Moldenhauer caught the deep pass, and Wodach was open the entire time. And Paparon's got to close on him. It's too easy a score.
Yeah, I mean, once he goes back to that dump, to have him be able to come back upfield and have that guy open on the open side.
Right.
Not what you like to see as a defensive coach.
Right, that's important, right? Like he turned around to the dump and you won, because now you forced him to make it throw him backwards. Then he turns around from the dump late in the stall, which means you win too. Now he's got to make a high risk throw, and he makes it to Wodach, and Wodach catches it with 2 hands and comes down with no problem. I mean, it's just not what you want.
So now 10-9, Philadelphia Spinners still with a 1-point lead. We've got just 39 seconds left here in this first half. Philadelphia going to look to come down, see if they can extend this to 2 points going into the locker room. Trey to receive. Gets it out to Hiranet. Hiranet back to Trey.
There's 33 seconds left right now.
To Mike Bear. It looks like they're running a little bit of this triangle, but also that DC's running a little bit of a junkie zone type of thing.
I think DC's running a junkie zone, and Katzenbach did a nice job.
Glazer gets it back to Bear. Bear looking downfield. 17 seconds left. Across to Glazer. Back to Glazer again.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
Glazer, little hammer over the top to Trey. Over to Salasco. Salasco puts it up. He's got a man. No, does not come up with it. Hard to see back in that back corner across the field.
No, you saw the James Kalinsky with that fantastic referee. Called it down right away. It looks like they have 1 second left, which, honestly, I know they called the timeout here, but I would just hold the disc because you're not gonna get a goal off this, and the best case scenario is you hurt someone you shouldn't have hurt. So just hold it.
And there he does. Hangs on to it, puts it down, and we go to half. So that's it. 10-9 Philadelphia Spinners at halftime. And I think a pretty exciting first half. And I think actually a good first half for DC going into tomorrow's games. One of the things that you worry about in a game like this, where, as you said, there are still things that matter, but that you're kind of leading into your next game, is that you end up with a game that's flat. And you come out of it, and when you start your game the next day, you're flat again. There's something about that continuation of action and adrenaline that I think can work for a team like DC.
Yeah. I mean, they're young and motivated, so I think they just want to be that way. They just want to always play and play well. So, there's no surprises there. I think we're going to see them come out fired up. I think really both teams are going to do their best to win. In this next half.
So let's talk a little bit about tomorrow's games while we're here. So we got a couple of big games tomorrow. Let's start on the West Coast because we've talked a little bit about DC and New York. So on the West Coast we have Seattle playing San Francisco. San Francisco's traveling up to Seattle. Last week we saw San Francisco come from behind to beat Seattle down in San Francisco. And now we're seeing this matchup again 2 weeks in a row in preparation for what we know is going to be a playoff game the following week between the same two teams back down in San Francisco.
Yeah.
What are you looking for in that game?
I just think Coach Safdie's too smart. I think they don't do anything. They just come out and play the most boring offense and boring defense because San Francisco knows that they need to win 1 week from now. They don't need anything, they don't need to prove anything. So, and I think kind of on the other side, Coach Wiggins doesn't want anything, doesn't really care if they win or not, but I think he does want to prove to his team they can. So, I don't know. I think you see vanilla from San Francisco, and I really think you see vanilla from the Rainmakers as well, but with a little bit of maybe grit in there because they want to pull off a win.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta, I think as what we've seen from Seattle so far against San Francisco this season is that San Francisco has some kind of mental edge on them. It feels like they've been up a couple times against that team, been in a position to win, and haven't been able to close the door. I gotta feel like Coach Wiggins is gonna want to bring his team out and get a win out of that game. A little confidence boost going into next week, and he might have a good opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I think so.
And then, of course, the other live game we have is the New York game. New York DC game down in DC. Both those teams playing for the opportunity to go play against Boston in the playoff. Travel's a concern, but what kind of game do you think you're going to see? What kind of?
Well, you're going to see monster, huge layouts, big throws, big running, lots of grit. You're going to see everybody lay it on the line completely because it's win or go home, right? So, what are you going to do? You have to come out and show it all. I think it's going to be the best game of the season so far.
I'm very excited to see it. All right, well, we're going to take a little break here, and we'll be back with more action on MLU Live here after the break, the second half. We're back here at Colonial Stadium where the Philadelphia Spinners lead the DC Current 10-9. Getting ready to start the second half. Great first half. And we want to take a moment while we're here to mention a couple of our sponsors. A big reason that we can bring you live games throughout the season is Elemental Technologies. Elemental provides encoding and delivery services to really big names in production. And we're very, very fortunate to have them sponsor us and help us deliver our content to all our fans.
Yeah,
and
they've been an incredible partner, right? They work with, I think if I'm correct, Comcast, ESPN, CBS. Like they work with some of the really, really big ones, and their technology is amazing. So it's great that we get to use all that to take the streams up and show everybody that. Plus, with YouTube, it's really pretty special.
Yeah, they actually are a jersey sponsor for the Portland Stags as well, which is a great thing. They have their logo on the Portland Stags jersey, and I've been a big part of that team's performance this year. So we're getting ready to start the second half here. Philadelphia on our left will be pulling to the DC Current in black today, which is a little bit rough with this with this sun and heat.
Yeah, and I'm going to give a shout out to the jersey sponsor of the DC Current, which is Waveborn. Incredible sunglasses. Like when Mike Malloy talks to me, who's one of the big wigs there, says they're indestructible, which, as you know, I can break any pair of sunglasses, and they really are. Just an incredible pair of shades, and you can get them 20% off right now by going to the MLU's shop and using the discount code of Gimme Waveborn 20. So Gimme is in GIMME, Waveborn 20. You'll get 20% off, and they've been a hot selling item. And now
Here's
it's
a big throw up. He's chasing it down. Oh my goodness! What a put!
And he highlights Waveborn.
Markham Schaffner again with a giant throw down the field to Wodach. I don't even know what to say about that throw. It was absolutely perfect.
It was a perfect throw. It was really that simple.
I'm done talking about it. It's just a perfect throw.
It's Markham Schaffner, and it's thrown into to Jeff Wodach, who is an intimidating receiver to say the least. So, we talked about this when we did the Rumble game. I just wouldn't throw it against Jeff Wodach, and I'm not and nothing against him because I think you know how big of a fan. I'm way more scared of him on defense because then all he has to do is tip the disc. So at least on offense he has to catch it, but if all he has to do is get a finger on it, you don't want to throw it against him.
So DC ties it up, 10-10 here, getting ready to pull. And here comes the disc. That's a big pull there from Eric Salmi. Spinners getting it started. Bear in the middle of the field. Looks up and hits Pana. Pana gets it up to Shull. Still seeing that Johnson-Shull combo over there. Pana with it back. Pana puts it deep to Shull. Johnson tracking him down. And Shull comes down with it again.
Uh-oh.
Makes a long leading pass. No, perfectly weighted pass.
Too far. What am I? What a fool am I to think such a thing. Puts
Out
it right
to
in his
Sean
lap.
Murray. I would not be surprised to see a backflip here. Right up, and there it is.
You're proud of yourself, aren't you?
I got to call it. I don't call many things in these games.
You only could have made it better if Sean Murray pointed up to the press box just to give you a nod.
Would have made me happy. So Art Shull coming down with another big, I'm not going to say 50-50, but another big catch. Because as you said before, easier on the defender there, right? They just need to tip it. They just need to get the disc to the ground, away from the offensive player, whereas the offensive player has to go up and actually make a catch.
Yeah. I mean, impressive. Again, against Delrico Johnson, which doesn't seem like the smart thing to do, but they did it.
That Johnson-Shull matchup, a lot of fun to watch so far. I think it's going to just keep carrying on. They seem to be matched up every time they're both on the field.
Well, it's a long game left, so I guess we'll find out.
We have some time. Here's the pull. Down to Moldenhauer receiving it in the end zone. Looks up and finds Ong. Ong with the disc now. All the way around to Wodach. Back to Ong. Nice little cut there by Ong. Moldenhauer with it. Looking for Todd, but can't get it around the mark. Instead, he finds Wodach on the dump. Wodach continues to Todd. There's a little floaty
Ooh.
upfield pass. Oh, comes down firmly with it, Bobby Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon made it look easy.
I like the authority with which he snatched that out of the air. He meant it. On with the disc now. Outfield to Wodach. DC moving the disc very well right now. Ooh, tough throw there, but Hall makes a nice catch on the swing.
And if there's one weakness to Wodach, it seems to be his dump throws, right? We watched that a lot in the last game against New York, so...
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen so far this season, I'd almost rather see Wodach making a 20-yard throw than a 10-yard throw. It's the touch that he seems to struggle with just a little bit.
Oof, boy.
Tough little throw inside there. Cranston reels it in, though.
Maybe the 20-yard throw or the 30-yard throw is better.
Todd with the disc. Right in the middle of the field. Oh, sneaky little pass there to Ong.
And see, that's a mistake in defense there by Furfari.
Ong, tough throw across.
He gets the foul.
He's pointing for it, and he does get the call. Yeah, that looked like he just wasn't quite able to follow through there, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And just before that, poor defense by Furfari. You never want to let somebody get that float pass up the line. It's too dangerous.
Ong, nice little break throw around Furfari.
Too easy a break.
Finds Markham Schaffner. Schaffner now having quite a game for himself. I've got him for 2 goals and 3 assists in this game. He's been involved in 5 of the 11 points that DC's put on the board. And it's 11-11 now with 7:18 left here in the third quarter.
So he has 2 goals. What did you say, 2 goals and 3 assists?
That's what I'm seeing here on my sheet. Now, I'm not a statistician by any means.
We know
this
that.
is a rudimentary system that I've developed here.
So we remember he also had 1 point block, or actually he had 1 block on him. And then so one of his goals came right after that. So when he's made a mistake, he's obviously delivered. He's been a big boy. Big boy for the team.
So 11-11. We got a game here, going back and forth on points right now. DC getting ready to pull down to the Philadelphia team. Sun's getting a little lower in the sky. We see those shadows lengthening. This coming from that corner of the field are going to be a little tougher to read. Katzenbach moves it up to Hironet right away. Hironet looking down, finds Bear. He's got some cutters deep.
Ooh.
Looked like he was
That
going to put
was a
it
good fake.
there. Nice
Had me
fake.
fooled.
I was tricked. Glazer in the middle.
There's that fast Justin Carter kid again.
Yeah. Carter getting some minutes. Yeah. And it looks like that was a block. For a second there, it looked like we might have seen a foul call, but definitely a block. Hironet with the disc now.
Wow, I'm surprised. That really looked like a foul.
To Rico Johnson. Cobb.
I say, here's the problem, right? It's just because
Oh, that was a tough little throw. It looked like Cobb was actually going all the way across and got it D'd up by his own player. Carter with the put to Murray. Wide open. Going to track it down. No problem.
Nice job.
Nice throw there by Carter. Finding Murray streaking deep. You do not want to leave Sean Murray with that kind of cut.
Yeah, and again, he got the throw into the dirt, which looked like it might have been a foul, but wasn't called. And then they didn't play defense, and really DC turned it over on their own.
They sure did.
You gotta just, if you don't get the call, you gotta get up and play, right?
Yeah, I mean this is the nature of sports, right? You don't get every call, and part of being a great athlete, and part of being a great player, is the ability to bounce back after a call that didn't go your way.
Yep.
The best players can do that. The worst players let that get in their head, and it haunts them.
Yeah, I don't know how much you watched the NBA Finals, but if you watched LeBron James and Tony Parker and Tim Duncan, boy, things that most people would just go hide in a corner for, right? Because they're terrified. Those guys accept, and it reminds me of these great guys out here. They play. They're not scared of anything.
So DC picking up the disc after a beautiful pull there, all the way down in the corner. They're pushed back into their own end zone. Ong with the disc now.
Who
5
pulled
yards
that?
deep.
That was a...
That had to be
I
Gowan.
do see Gowan out there. There he is. Let's say, how's he not there? There's only one person I know of who can do it. Now, see, here's where you want to put pressure on him and get the Callahan, right?
Philly doing
nothing easy. Oh,
Philly doing a nice
there
job
you go.
on defense
Nothing
right now.
easy. See, that's too easy.
Todd, nice fake there, able to get it back into the middle. Goes up to Moldenhauer.
Nice work by DC. Really, look at that.
Moldenhauer, tough little throw to Ong, who tracks it down. Throws a high release kind of backhand thing that you just had a feeling got away from him a little bit.
I think he was nervous about the mark that Leon Chow put on, but that was phenomenal to get out of their end zone like that. They were pinned all the way to the back.
Oh, there's a
this
big
pass.
throw. A little bit of a laser. That's going to work out perfectly.
Nice job.
Laser throw there by Braz.
I don't think anything else works. I think if he throws it any higher, it's a jump ball down there with a bunch of guys he don't want to jump with.
Yeah, he
That was
definitely had
perfect
some
throw.
people closing in on that who could have caused some problems for him. So that was Braz with the throw, and Skylar Redding on the reception for his second goal of the day. Philadelphia taking a 2-point lead here, 13-11, with 5:24 left to play here in the third quarter. So DC, they ready to receive this pull. They have 5:24 left here in the quarter, looking to bring it back to a 1-point game after a lot of back and forth there with this Philly team. Crowd getting noisy across the way. Everybody's out here having a lot of fun. There's a lot of games, some discs getting thrown into the crowd. You know, it's a good time for the whole family out here.
It does look fun.
Bring your sunscreen, but it's a good time for the whole family.
It definitely gives a moment for us to remind everybody about or not even remind them, to tell them about the championship game on the 13th in historic Franklin Field, July 13th, 6 p.m.
There's a
tickets
big
are-
throw, a little out in front of Wodach. Oh, he manages to track it down and bring it in. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No,
but
that
you
was
had a
worth
lovely
interrupting.
play there on the field.
Yeah, it was just-
Wodach with a nice catch.
Just reminding everybody about the game again. So, yeah, July 13th, 6 p.m., Franklin Field, the historic stadium right in the middle of Philly, which people love to go to. And you can get your tickets now if you go to MajorLeagueUltimate.com.
And it looked like, you know, I don't want to speculate, I hate to say it, but it looked like Schaffner came up a little bit limpy on that last play. He had a bit of an awkward catch there on the sideline, and then he just limped off the field just a little bit there.
Yeah, did he?
He was definitely
I don't
shaking
know.
out that leg.
Knowing him, I'm sure he'll be just fine. But we'll see. That's definitely something to keep track of. I think if he's got any tweaks at all, Coach Moldenhauer's got to tell him to take a seat.
And with 2 goals and 4 assists, you definitely don't want to see him sitting down at this point in the game. Philadelphia receiving, leading 13-12 with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Bear with the disc out on the sideline. Doesn't see much that he likes downfield. Moves it back to Hiernet, who can't hang on to it. Just one of those little mistakes that have haunted the Spinners this year.
Yeah,
Drops at inopportune moments.
Yeah, but it seems like Hiernet hasn't had his best game, and I mean he's such a great player. Just seems like he's been a little bit out of sync.
So Marshall gets the disc back across to Neely. Neely with a nice floaty pass out there to Eric Miner for the goal.
I love the crowd giving the heckling stall count. That is just as if anybody ever thought Philly fans were nice. So that's fun.
This is not something that Philly fans are typically known for, no. Passionate, I would say.
Passionate's a good term.
We are actually, speaking of the championship game, Franklin Field is the site of the notorious Philadelphia crowd booing Santa Claus. That actually took place at Franklin Field back when the Philadelphia Eagles used to play their home games there.
So we're just gonna tell all the bad stuff about Philly at this moment. Yeah, it's true.
It's true.
We've done bad things in Philly, right? But,
On occasion, we've also done some good things, you know, Liberty, what have you, I would say.
and because of that, we actually decided not to bring Santa Claus to the championship game, just to say. So it should be a really, really friendly game, and people will have a great time.
I'm still lamenting the loss of my Christmas in July idea. But... Oh my goodness, what a catch there
Wow.
on the sideline. Was that Salasco with a great catch on a pretty hot Trey flick, and he's going to get the disc right back from Trey again. That was impressive. And we have a whistle here.
It looks like they got a pick down there downfield, so they're going to move Trey back 10.
And a pick there, so Trey's going to walk the disc back 10 yards. Those downfield picks can hurt you in this game. Loss of yardage. They get a nice quick restart, though, and keep the disc moving.
Send it to him. Wow.
Salasco.
Oh, now see, waited way too.
He seemed a little underconfident in that flick, but there's Delrico Johnson.
Delrico Johnson. Now, see, that's a mistake that the young players make, right? And you want to know about that is you don't. If you come up and you need to throw and you don't get it, you can't then switch over to your. If you can't throw the flick, you can't switch over and then throw the backhand. It's too late. So this game's too quick.
And so I got to tell you, that disc in the middle of the field here a couple throws ago definitely looked down to me, but it was called up, so DC retains possession. Moving the disc well.
It did look down. You know what? You think the spinner's bench would be a little more upset if they really thought it was down. Oh, he gets the travel call.
It looked like it was a travel on the reception.
The receiving travel call, though. So that's a big thing to understand here in Major League Ultimate. A travel after you've established a pivot foot is a turnover, but before you've established a pivot foot is just a 10-yard penalty, so it's a big difference.
And there's a goal. Delrico Johnson getting the D and then getting the goal on the other end.
And then showing the bookend symbol, which he earned.
He definitely did earn that bookend symbol. Yeah, I mean, the thing to understand about that travel on the reception, too, is generally what you see it for is a change in direction. So when you catch the disc and you're slowing down and you make a change in direction at that point, often the officials will pick that up as a travel.
Yeah.
So Delrico getting himself on the board. For the third time today, Delrico Johnson getting in the end zone, and that actually puts DC up now, 14-13. We've seen a little swing of fortunes here. Philly was up 2 points not too long ago. Now DC with the lead with 2:58 here left in the third quarter. Let's see how Philadelphia responds to this.
Yeah, it will be interesting, right? So. Is this the first? Did you just say it's the first time DC's winning, right? So they finally pulled up their lead. So,
is this their first lead of the game? I
believe
it is.
The first lead of the game, right?
I'm being told first lead of the game since they were up 1-0. So
we need a third person here because we're not smart enough to remember that.
We do. We need a stenographer, someone with some information at their fingertips. Here's Hironet with the disc now. Philly moving up the field pretty quickly. Going to swing it across to Pana. Pana cut off nicely there from getting that disc all the way across, but gets a nice give and go with Hironet. Dangerous! Oh, and a big D! That's a big D there from Bobby Gordon. Dangerous play, risky moment, but definitely comes up with a good one there, and Moldenhauer picks up the disc for DC. Whew. Wodach. Oh, there's that risky dump again, and Moldenhauer gets down for it. Up the line to Cobb. Nice. Double team there. Gets out of it, back to Moldenhauer with a nice little flip pass over the top from Cobb. Ooh, Moldenhauer almost falls into the Jack Casey baiting trap there. Wodach with it now, and Wodach, whoa, that was not a pretty throw by Wodach. Pana gets the disc back.
That's a rough turnover to have. And you know what? I think, see, we talk about things for tomorrow. We're going to be watching. It's going to be, you and me looking at the game tomorrow for Wodach, and that's got to have you scared, right? We don't need more of those turnovers for him.
There's up and, great body position. Jonah Wish, the 18-year-old, playing like a veteran, pulling that one down.
Yeah, he really pisses me off, to be honest with you. I mean, what is he? He's 18. He just graduated high school. If you look on his Facebook page, he has pictures of him going to the prom, and he's a better Ultimate player than you and I combined. Ugh, pretty rough than we ever were. It's pretty frustrating, isn't it?
It's painful. I don't like to talk about it.
I mean, he just went up against two guys who are great defenders and makes it look easy. And if you look at it, so young players, and I don't know if when I say young players are the same age as Jonah, but if you look how you get the disc in front of you and you get your body as a shield, and he seems to do that repeatedly because he's not a big guy. I mean,
no.
I don't know if he's hit his growth spurt yet, so he could be. But He's not a big guy, but he puts his body in position so well. I mean, he's going to be a great player at Pitt, and I look forward to watching him for years there, and then hopefully bring him back, right?
I would like to see him back for
So-
sure. He's certainly made his mark in this league. Has been a key role player here for this Philadelphia team, and you know he's going to do the same thing when he gets to college. So Ong swings it across, gets it back. Little give and go action there.
Doesn't look nearly as windy right now, so really calm on the field. Look at that
Schaffner
throw. Ooh, to
running well,
Wodach.
still throwing well. Wodach. Oh, Wodach makes a great catch.
Wow. Oh, what's the
Oh.
call?
We have an issue here. Down in the back of the end zone. No catch. I believe he's calling him out of bounds on that play.
Did he hit the line? Wow.
It was hard to tell from up here, but it looks like the call was that the catch was out of bounds.
Now the referee.
What a grab.
The referee will point to the ground if it hits the ground. So, did he foul the other guy going up? Man, I'm going to look forward to asking James Kalinsky about that. I don't know what happened.
Very interesting call there. Definitely one I'm looking forward to seeing again. So Bear with the disc. Nice little fakes there and gets the disc out. Shaw moves it across. Roz being a big part of the offense right now. Back across to Bear. Bear across. Oh, looks like we have a call here. Timeout. All right, so here we are. Philadelphia Spinners timeout.
Yeah, this is big for them, right? It's tied up. 12 seconds left. You know, again, we talked about this. Yeah, if you want to end your season on a high note, you got to pull out some of this stuff. And too many games we've seen them call a timeout and really just do almost nothing, which is tough. So they have to. I think for them to take this, you know, and say, hey, we're an improving team, is to call this timeout and go score with 12 seconds left, which in the first two games they did. So, you know, it's not something they can't do. It's just something they haven't been doing.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I would say this is a very big point right now. To be able to pull ahead here going into the fourth quarter, if you can go in up a goal, going to make a big difference in your mental approach to that quarter. So 12 seconds remaining. Timeout, Philadelphia Spinners. They're down to one timeout, with DC still has two remaining. And we're going to see what kind of play they're going to be able to put together.
Yeah, I'm guessing DC's going to play, you know, that defense they did last time, which is make them throw a bunch of throws so that they don't, they don't even really get a shot at the end zone until, you know, they have to throw up something kind of ugly. I think the Spinners want to get the disc moving, get 3 or 4 passes completed quickly, and then see what shot they have.
So I've seen, I think, a couple times this year, teams at these last-second things take some pressure off of the thrower and put more guys down in the end zone to try to defend that end zone. I got to feel like that is not the best approach. You want to put some pressure on that thrower, make it difficult for him to get the disc down.
You don't want the throw to come off. You don't want the throw to come off.
At best.
Yeah, and like I think that's what they keep losing track of. Like, why jump for a disc that's in the end zone when you can block a disc from ever getting there? And I think many teams have made that mistake. So we'll see what they do here. But I mean, 12 seconds left is way too much time to necessarily take that into account. But we'll see.
Yeah, this obviously isn't a Hail Mary situation. You're going to have time to move the disc a couple of times before you have to put it into the end zone. So it looks like Philadelphia coming out here with a horizontal stack across the field.
And they got Brian Marshall and Sean Murray right down near the bottom of the screen here, and Matt Gowan. I wonder if they would have the kind of daringness to just put it to him right away. We'll see if Sean takes off. And you got Trey out there coming around.
Yep, there goes Murray. And there's the throw, just as you called it. Sean, can't quite make the catch. Two defenders got there. It looked like DC may have overheard you.
They call a timeout.
Well, we have a call going on here. A little conversation happening on the sideline.
Coach Smolinski wanted to call a timeout right after the turnover, so we'll see what happens.
Gonna have a little bit of a referees conference here to discuss what's happening. I imagine what we're talking about
Again,
here
1
is,
second, not even close to enough time.
I think the question mark here is there more time on the clock? But it looks like there is not.
And Hazara is not going to get it off in 1 second. I don't think he can put it down there anyway. So I would just hold it. What just happened?
Banned.
So we
we
have a
just get a
band
ban?
got passed out over on the opposite sideline. Sliding it on there. It looks like Daniel Cantor. I don't even think we've seen him on the field today. And now he's wearing a band. Apparently had some words for the referee, I think, in the situation.
Yeah, I mean,
That's my only guess.
yeah, I mean, Cantor's not even on the active list today. So I think we have a classic case of yelling for the timeout, but it's loud and the referee didn't hear, and losing a second or two there, and Cantor probably lost his cool there, and I'm sure his teammates are telling him not to do that because the last thing they need is to lose him for a game. So, and they're starting the clock.
I mean, as far as I know, this is Cantor's first ban this year, so not in any danger right now, as long as he can keep his mouth shut for the rest of the game.
Yes.
But it looks like, yeah, he was out. He was questionable from the get-go, actually probable with an ankle injury. But I'm assuming that just in light of the situation in this game and going into the next game, they felt it was in their best interest just not to play him.
Yeah, and James Kalinsky, head referee here, he's just not one of the guys to test. I mean, he's gonna. He doesn't like. He likes the game run well. He wants everybody to do their thing, and if you open your mouth at him and use any fun language, he's gonna throw a band your way. So.
The thing that I think good referees do is they orchestrate a game. They keep the game moving. They keep the flow, the pace of the game going, and they maintain the safety of the players and also the integrity of the game itself. And I think this crew today has done a great job so far.
Yeah, they're a phenomenal crew. He's phenomenal. You always call it an arbiter of the game.
An arbiter of the game.
The only problem is I don't know what that means, but I like it. So. It's true though, but it is being an arbiter of the game. It's running it and trying to be kind of as invisible as you can be, as the players will allow you to be, right? Because they're going to play a nice, good game. So this crew always really runs it really, really well. And I mean, think about it today. We just haven't seen a lot of calls. They're keeping them straight.
Yeah, and
it's been great.
And responding quickly in situations where a player loses a little bit of that self-control, which happens to everybody. I mean, I'm not going to... Cantor, who knows what happened in his head, but this type of thing happens. But stepping on that immediately, having a decisive answer for it, and keeping the game going is something that a good referee does. And I'm glad that we have the guys that we do out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say that had you played this league back in your day, you might have had a few orange bands on your arm. And you don't say a lot, so you just get a lot out with one word.
Yeah, I mean, I had a history of talking a little bit, maybe more than I should have back when I played. So we're at 14-14 now, a tie game going into the fourth quarter. I mean, this is exciting. These fans are certainly getting their tickets worth out here today.
This is an exciting game. I mean, I still keep getting this feeling that, I don't know, almost that I think maybe the Spinners aren't, it's nervous isn't the right word, but they're tense. And that with the line that the DC Current have put out that the Spinners should win this. They have their starters out there. So if they play their game, they should beat the second line of the DC Current. If they tighten up and make mistakes, DC Current, I think, are going to take all this momentum, squeak out a nice, close game, and head back home to DC with a smile on their face.
I gotta say though, from where I'm sitting, that second line of the defense of the DC Current does not look like too much of a drop off. These are some of the newer faces that we've been seeing out there today, and of course some of the standbys as well. It's not a complete second line team, but some of the new faces have really impressed me today.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you completely, but you're still missing Keegan and Colic and Brent Bellinger. So
of course,
it's just like, they're impressive.
Those are notable names.
those three, make a huge difference. Let's see what Philly can do. And DC, all the credit in the world. They're playing a fantastic game.
So Hiernett gets the disc up to Murray. Murray looking downfield. Got to go back now. Ooh, tough little throw on the inside there, and it looked like Eric Salmi got a bit of a fingertip on that one. Nice D there on that high stall count throw. Murray was just running out of time. So now Wodach with the disc.
Look at that nice. That was a nice dump pass,
little
right? Gets him all that room, changes the field, gets Delrico Johnson open. Now don't let him get it off easy, and that's what Hiernet's going to do.
And they keep moving the disc. Wodach with it again. Another nice little dump pass there. It's got Jonathan Neely. Neely to Johnson. Johnson gets it up to Cobb.
Looks like we have a foul
downfield
on
foul, I believe.
Yeah, I think a foul on Sean Murray down there, which moves up Cobb, but they got to stick him there, and they don't. They had to keep Cobb stuck there and make him throw a pass he didn't want to throw, and instead he gets an easy dump off, and look, Delrico Johnson gets an easy dump off.
Oh, little one-footed throw. Nicely tracked down in the back of the end zone. That was an interesting throwing choice there. Caught it, spun on one foot, turned, and threw it. And he found, it looks like Eric Miner for the goal there in the back of the end zone.
They did a nice job. I mean, all the credit to them. They really, Philly wasn't putting pressure on the dump. They swung it around and they put it right in. I mean, it was beautiful.
So we have 15-14 now. DC up a point on the Philadelphia Spinners with 8:32 left here in the fourth quarter. The sun mercifully setting in the distance. The crowd, noisy as ever, having a good time out there.
Yeah, I gotta say, we've been at a lot of games this season. They are doing some fun games. The fans have really gotten into this one. That's fun.
Yeah, I mean it's the whole experience, right? You got the contest, and you got the music, and the dance team, and just a lot of fun out here. Good concessions.
Yeah, and we can get disconnected from that. We don't get to really see all the planning for that. So nice job, Philly, and nice job DC playing such a great game with your.
Oh, and he's got a man deep. There's the throw. Wow, that was just looked like a complete defensive breakdown by DC. They never marked up after the pull.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't going to finish my sentence when I saw Leon Chow run by the entire stack.
It was just, I don't think he stopped from the pull all the way down, ran down. Nice goal there for Leon Chow. So that ties it up, 15-15. I think this is going to be one of those games that's just going to go back and forth all the way to the end. And that's the kind of game I like. A little bit of excitement.
This is a very exciting game.
Yeah.
I feel building the crowds really get into it. I'm getting into it. It's it seems like like the battle for Philly DC. That's what they do. So it's exciting.
Yeah, it does not matter the particular stakes at any given time. A Philly DC game is always going to be a good one. And we've been kind of fortunate. We had a great game to call last time we called the game. New York and D.C. going to overtime.
Now, you know how I saw the beer commercial and it said it's only superstition if it doesn't work, right? So, hey, we call great games, so that's why we do it. We make them happen.
Schaffner gets the disc up the field.
Cranston
gets
nice
over to
job.
Moldenhauer.
Nice job by Moldenhauer to make that way easier than it should have been.
And there's an exciting throw from him to follow it up to Todd in the middle. Todd back to Moldenhauer over on the sideline. Gets it inside to Ong. All the way across the field again to Todd. He's got a man up front. Cranston looking back across the field, but he's got Ong.
And does Mike Bayer get it?
Oh. No, Mike Bayer saw that cut coming,
Bayer
saw that throw coming, just couldn't jump off that stack quite soon enough to get there.
Both of us saw him looking at it, and he took off, and I thought we were going to see a big highlight there, but who was that? Ong who they caught it? Well,
that was Ong catching it. Yeah, I mean,
that's the problem. 6'2" and that long reach, and what are you going to do? You can't get around it.
So nice cut there by Calvin Ong up the line. It's the thing we talk about all the time. The most dangerous cut in this game is that up the line cut.
Up the line cut is the most dangerous cut because the second you get that, you have just about the whole field to throw to. So again, the young players, you push the handlers back, push that cut back. It's better to give, I would say, an open throw backwards than to over contest that and then let him up the line. It's too dangerous.
I will say, from my past as a defender, that those are some of the most fun cuts to defend. I like the way the disc floats out there. You see some big plays on those up the line.
You do.
Cuts.
It's a big, high risk, high reward.
High risk, high reward. Bear with the disc now. Moves it up. Cats him back.
It's a nice round cut by Murray there.
Jonah Wish finds Bear. Braz gets it.
Frederick Braz gets it again and finds Archol wide open.
How did Archol get that open? What happened there to let that happen?
I think that he kind of ran around Jonathan Neely, and Delrico Johnson maybe got picked a little and probably just pulled up on it. I didn't really see it though, but.
And so here we go. The back and forth continues. 16-16. 7 minutes and 12 seconds left here in the fourth quarter.
You called it. We're going to go right down to the end.
It's exactly the kind of game that we want to see. It's the kind of game the fans want to see. And it's, throughout the season, it's the kind of games we've had by and large. There have, of course, been a couple of let's say, blowouts. And there's certainly been some teams that have shown a level of consistency. You're looking at Boston in particular, still undefeated at this point.
Yeah,
but not undefeatable, I believe, is an important thing to know.
I think it's true. I think, though, we talk about parity for the league. There's just not at the top. Those top teams are just incredible. I think Boston, Seattle, and San Francisco have proved they're just a step above everything. And I think a lot of these other teams are motivated to get to that level. The one team I'll throw into the mix that I think really, really has a shot is DC, because they're just such good athletes. But to beat the Boston Whitecaps, they're going to have to play a great game, and they're going to have a lot of confidence. And that's if they even get past the New York Rumble. So, that isn't going to be easy at all. So, and especially with mistakes like that right there, right?
There you go. That's the thing, is that you have to be athletic, you have to be fast, you have to be strong, and you also have to be just mentally on your game the whole time. And that New York Rumble team, been just a surprise. Oh, wow. Oh, man, that was a nice D. It looked like by Ong on a misread by Pana, but then they gave him a little bit of contact. He did get the body before the disc, which, of course, is a foul. You're going to expect to see that call.
Ong didn't look too upset about it.
No, I think he knew. That little bit of contact before was a nice attempt, though, and then Philly right back with it. Dynamic disc movement there, back across the field.
Wow. This crowd is
Gets
into it.
themselves a
Wow.
17-16 lead.
Goodness, this is fun.
Yeah, we
This
got
is
the
a
fan
fun
club
game.
there in the middle. We got a lot of signs up.
Again, it goes back to the thing. Like, we know this game doesn't, quote unquote, count for anything in terms of the playoffs, but it obviously means something to the teams to just win, and certainly the fans are into it. So now here's the moment where I want the Spinners, if they're going to win this, to come down and play great defense. And here's the moment where the DC Current, I want to see them play their game and make no mistakes, right? So if we see the DC Current throw a couple passes and rip one deep from Schaffner to Wodach, and it's on the money, then we know that they're on. And if we see the Spinners come down and make them toss it around and do a bunch of high-risk stuff, then we know they're on. So let's see what happens.
It could be a very interesting point in the game. The Spinners looking to try to break away, see if they can get a D here, but DC, has not had any difficulty a lot of the time moving this disc around and making those striking throws. It seems to be moments of either technical error on the throws or a little bit of a mental breakdown.
We talk about it, right? Oh, he's going to get the call,
Definitely going to get the call on that one, it looks like.
I think he stepped all over him when he was making that cut. Good call by the ref.
Tom Doy getting the foul call there. and a deserved one. I don't think anything intentional in that, just a little bit clumsy. Wodach gets the disc on the outside. He's already looking back across the middle to Todd.
I love looking down this field and seeing Schaffner's just standing there and Frederick Raz all over him. And now Schaffner's going to go to
Schaffner
work.
with a great
And
little
here it
cut
is.
down there. And Schaffner with the put. He's got a man. Can he get there? He's closing. Oh, nice catch there. Nice run down the field. Wodach, wisely, patient, dumps it back. Doi. Oh, what a throw by Doi.
Now, I mean, I don't want to, toot my own horn so much, but I did say that I thought Schaffner, if he could put out that perfect pass, but I won't call it perfect because he left him a couple of yards out of the end zone. But
You see Skylar Redding there, really looking for that push-off call on that throw. But I just think that Doi, the step through his mark, leaned
perfect.
all the way over, made a great throw up the line.
it was perfect.
Beautiful
Nothing
play.
to say about it. It was perfect.
I was so interested in Doi's throw, I didn't actually even notice who caught the.
It was Ryan
the
Todd.
point. Was it Ryan
I think
Todd
it
on the
was.
side there?
I was missing it too. Too happy about the. I love the break throw, but I think it was him.
So right now, some exciting stuff going on up in Boston. Rumble with the lead, 11-10. The New York Rumble 11-10 right now over the Boston Whitecaps. Interested to see how that game plays out. So here's the pull, tied up again, knotted, 17-17. Spinners with the disc. Katzenbach has it in the middle.
5 minutes left.
Makes a quick dump. Swung around to Bear.
Spinners are so far away from the throwers. The only
Bear
cut
up
they
to
can make
Glazer.
is.
Glazer
He's
to
got
Shaw.
Murray.
He did have Murray for a second, but a nice mark there by Johnson. Delrico Johnson put a really aggressive mark on Archel. Tough for him to get anything big off. Just gets back to Glazer. Glazer looking. Doesn't see anything he likes downfield. Underneath the tray, Katzenbach. Katzenbach has the put up to Murray. Oh, just a little bit too much in front of him. Murray really feeling like he should have come up with that one.
I didn't think Murray was going to touch it. That thing came out like a rocket, and you could tell the angle the lid was turned up. I mean, that was just a bad throw.
Rocket Blady, not a great throw, but you know Murray, being the kind of player that he is, if he can touch it, he feels like he should catch it.
Yeah, and here's the problem, right? See, now they get the D. Now they call the timeout. Murray's obviously upset, and now the DC Current get to use this timeout the way you're supposed to, and see if they can't march down the field. So Spinner's got to come out and do something special here, if they're going to do it.
So 17-17 going into this timeout. Each team now with one timeout left. We have 4:19 on the clock in the fourth quarter. Couldn't hope for a better game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still. It just seems like the DC Current's in control, right? They're the ones using their timeouts the right way. They're the ones, they got their second roster out there. They're the ones hitting, Schaffner to Wodach on a dime. They're getting the break throws. It just seems like they're in control. So, and I expect them to see them do work here. I expect, is Schaffner and Wodach out there? You know who my bid is of who's going to throw to who.
Well, with what we have going on up there in Boston is any sign of how seriously the New York Rumble is taking the end of their season, leading up in Boston 11-10 right now. We know that DC has to play their game too going into this final game between the two teams.
Yeah, I mean the problem there is that Boston Whitecaps have destroyed teams in the fourth quarter. So it's not doesn't even like I get it, but it doesn't even excite me yet until if they were up in the fourth quarter, I'd say, oh wow, this is going to be a game. But I mean, we've heard that the games have been close before, and then they just open it up at the end, and it's probably because they're just playing their whole team, and they're wearing teams to the ground because they're that good. So we'll see.
Yeah, Boston is a very deep team. They have players at the bottom of their roster who are just as good as anybody out here. So DC bringing it in. Oh, gets away from him, that long throw there, but he's able to track it down. Fans thought they were into something there. Now Wodach with the disc in the middle. Up to Cranston. Cranston up to Moldenhauer. Moldenhauer looking downfield. Takes his time a little bit, though. Then a little floaty pass over the top. Oh, a big bid there by Jack Casey.
God, how does he land on his feet with that?
Moldenhauer with the disc again. Huge swing pass around. A little bit dangerous. Over to Tom Doy. Tom Doy up the field. Bobby Gordon has it now. Moldenhauer on the outside.
They're really working.
Little up the line. Oh, Schaffner can't pull it in. I feel like the crowd was one defender on the field during that point. They were incredibly noisy the whole time. And now Philly looking to strike quick. And there it is. A little bit of a jump ball up the field. Read very well there.
That was very veteran by Frederick Braz. He really held his ground, got the position. Nice job.
Pana with the disc now.
But still, they got to put it in. They can't just get the D. They got to put it in if they're going to win this game.
Back to Pana. Pana has a man, and he manages to get in. Skylar Redding, fancy footwork on the goal line, makes the catch, scores the point, puts Philly up 18-17 with 2:50 left here in the fourth quarter.
Nice job. Nice job by both of them. Really, really impressive. And I'm going to say it again, though. Still, even up 18-17, I feel like DC, with all their players, I think they have the confidence to come down and score. And Philly's not going to get this game given to them. I don't think, even with their second squad, they're not going to give it. So they're going to have to earn a D if they want to win it. And I still see Wodach out there. I still see Schaffner and Tom Doy. And Calvin Ong.
Yeah. This is not a DC line that is looking to say, well, we'll just take this game and go home. This is a DC line that's coming out here to win this game. And you're right. You're exactly right. If Philadelphia wants to win, they have to take the win. DC's not going to give them anything out of it. So Gallen holding the disc, looking for that big pull. Looks like a roller. And a nice one at that. Going to get way out of bounds, give the defense time to get down. And, of course, with the disc rolling out of bounds, the offensive player has to bring that in at the point that it crossed the line.
Yep.
So it gives Philadelphia an opportunity to pin the DC team on the line.
It's an interesting change of.
Oh, and they just do not somehow get down all the way on defense.
Right. How do you let the first pass off a roller that goes that far out of bounds? How do you let that off? And then let it cross the field. And you know what? We got to give credit to DC as well because this happens because
Schaffner with a little bit of a sloppy throw there. Yeah. Art Shaw with those big hands pulls in the D. So Philly with an opportunity here to take a 2-point lead if they can put this in. Murray with the disc. Back across to Bear. Up to Shaw. Back to Bear. Bear with a nice fake. Murray looking back across, but just gives that one away. You saw that setup coming in, makes that sort of lazy throw across the middle, and DC capitalizes.
Yep, and I was going to say before Art Shaw got that D that the problem that the DC Current give is that they're so big and powerful and kind of scary cutters that people are afraid of them going deep, and then they get a lot of in cuts. But still, it's you can't let that happen. And the spinners right here, you see they got to shut them down if they want something, and DC's just moving it.
You see that all the time with Wodach, I think. Wodach, you see him coming underneath a lot, and he's always seems to be open under. Because I think teams are afraid to play him.
Absolutely.
And leave him that out. Ooh, that was a long play there. Todd now, though, with the disc. Todd finds Schaffner in the middle. Oh, he's dangerous right now. Schaffner out to Cranston.
We got a minute.
Cranston floats one up, but it's for Wodach. You got to feel like he's going to come down, and he does.
Got a minute 12 left. Smart
foul
on Wodach.
There on Wodach.
See how smart that was? He drew the foul. Now look, the whole team gets to reset. They got a minute left,
Cranston,
58 seconds.
And Cranston, he finds.
This game is tied
up.
At
Oh my goodness, to tie it at 18. Cranston finding Ong for the point.
Oh, this is exciting.
So 18-18, 55 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. This thing's going right down to the wire. You can hear that crowd get into it, particularly when Philadelphia is on defense. A lot of noise out there in the field. And, we're not talking about huge 60,000-person stadiums. We aren't. We aren't talking about that yet. But we are talking about the amount of noise that literally affects the players on the field. They have trouble hearing each other. They have trouble hearing anything shouted from the sidelines. The fans can certainly play a part in this game.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. You know how you watch in football how the quarterback quiets the crowd on offense? I don't think the fans know how much the noise affects offense. So it could be bad for the Spinners right here with all the noise. Then they can't hear each other, can't communicate as well, and they got to score.
It looks like we have a timeout called by DC, which is an interesting timeout call. I don't know how you feel about this. 55 seconds left.
I like it.
If Philadelphia comes down, marches down, and scores quickly, now you're in a situation where maybe that timeout might have been useful.
I think it's like icing the kicker. That's what I think just happened, right? They got to go down on offense and score. So why not give them an extra 60 seconds to think about that, And why not give yourself an extra 60 seconds to make them feel like you're going to come down with some really, really major defense? See, it's great coaches think of great things at great times. That's a big deal. Nicely done. Well, I guess we'll find out. But
we'll find out.
Really,
you like the call, though, right now. I mean, a little bit of gamesmanship. You always like to see that.
Love it. I love to see the strategy.
So we have a report now that in Boston, at halftime, the New York Rumble lead the Boston Whitecaps 12-11 at half. As you said, though, Boston, a second-half team. We're going to see how that holds up as we get in there. And I know DC is going to be hoping for that game to be close, too.
Yeah, I think it's got me a bit interested, right? Like, who's not playing their players? Is it because you figure the Rumble would have taken up their second squad, too, right? And you would actually think that the Whitecaps would have their squad. I don't have the injury report right in front of you, and I don't remember seeing a lot of people. So,
well, the Rumble is definitely resting a couple people. We know that Mazur has that ankle injury, which is going to play a key part to see whether he's going to be able to play.
Heyman, right? Heyman's still got the hammy.
Heyman is out for the weekend, as far as I know.
Good, right? Good, because he was banged up, and we want to see him play tomorrow. Oh, he's out for the weekend.
I believe he's out for the whole weekend, and I don't know exactly what the scenario is there, but it sounds like Heyman is out for the weekend.
Is this the rise of? So what do we have right here? What happens? There's definitely a penalty.
Yeah, it looks like we had a delay of game penalty on the DC Current prior to calling that timeout.
A delay of game wouldn't have put him 20 yards though, so I think they have a flagrant foul of some sort, and we'll have to find out from James if we can. And we actually have one of our top referees up here, Chris Vanity. Any idea what happened just there, Chris?
I did not see or hear anything, unfortunately.
Okay, well, I guess we'll have to find out. For now, we'll just say it's the phantom penalty that got the Spinners up 20 and the DC Current back.
And that is a big penalty.
So
the Spinners
55.
have had some of their biggest trouble has been down near their own goal line, and putting them all the way out at half right to start is really going to be an advantage for them. So Bear moves it across to Hiranet.
We got 45 seconds left.
Back to Bear.
And the clock stops on a call.
Looks like a downfield pick is going to move it back a little bit.
That is the last call you wanted to get right there. Right? Now
So Bear moves the disc back. 41 seconds on the clock. We're back in. Out to Hiranet. Over to Glazer. Glazer looks downfield but calls it off. Back to Hiranet. Going to work the disc across a little bit. Finds Katzenbach up the line.
Nifty little pass right there.
Oh, and a nice cut by Hiranet to get the disc back. Bear coming out of the stack.
20 seconds left.
20 seconds left here. Out to Pana. Pana looking upfield. 15 seconds left.
Oh, nice
Finds Bear. 10 seconds left. Bear swings it out to Glazer. Glazer back to Bear. Bear with a huge hammer across. And it's going to Katzenbach. What a play! Dave Bear across the field to Katzenbach for the win. Philadelphia Spinners managed to win their last game of the season.
Do I get to say it? Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? 19-18, Philadelphia Spinners win on a huge Bear hammer across the field to Katzenbach. Oh my goodness.
I mean, good job on the Spinners. I mean, it's nice to see him win. Obviously, was heavily involved with him for quite some time, all the guys out there, so I'm happy to see him win. And the other thing is, I'm just excited for the DC Current. This game meant nothing for them. They came out, they did a good job, and I don't think they really care about anything that happens here. They're just going to go drink a bunch of water, get their nutrients in the body, rest, take that bus ride home, and focus on tomorrow. And we're going to watch one heck of a game tomorrow.
And I think that DC did what they needed to do here. They played a good, hard game. They got their bench players some work, some people they're going to need down the stretch against New York with people being a little bit banged up and little injuries. going to be a great thing to see down there. Very much looking forward to it. But congratulations to the Philadelphia Spinners. Well played by the DC Current. Thank you for joining us here on the MLU Live. And we'll just remind you that we have a couple of games tomorrow. Be sure to tune in for that New York down in DC game. The game to go to play against Boston for the playoff. And that'll be at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on MLU Live. And then we also have San Francisco coming up to Seattle. Also 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So you got a little bit of a decision to make there. Keep an eye on both games.
That decision's really easy, isn't it?
It's pretty easy.
Like you're going to watch the game that you're going to watch next week anyway, or watch the game that decides the whole thing. So I think everyone's going to be watching. We're going to have like 4 viewers on our Seattle game maybe, but everyone's going to be watching the Rumble at the Current. Boy, am I excited about that.
Rumble at the Current. Well, thank you again for coming out here and joining us on MLU Live. That's all for today. Again, it is the Philadelphia Spinners beating the DC Current 19-18 here in Week 10 of the MLU.